Hey everyone, welcome to our small footprint. My name is Nyssa, and if you're new here, we are a family of 8 who live off-grid in Australia. It is the second run of days of 42 plus degrees, and it's gross, really gross. We did get some rain this afternoon, but that's just made it hot and humid instead of just hot, so you know. But anyway, so I haven't had a chance to record a video for Friday morning, which is tomorrow morning, so I wanted to do this. Now, Darryl had to go to the post office today because he had to get animal feed and stuff, and my Thermomix Spiralizer was at the post office. So Thermomix has brought out a Spiralizer, and because I did a sale in a certain month, I got it cheap. I got it half price or something was the thing, so I bought it and it arrived today. So we're going to experiment with that. Now, I haven't used it before, and there's always a little bit of a learning curve with these, but I thought something super simple for dinner. We're going to do rice paper rolls. Now, rice papers are going to be one of those things that I think I'm going to allow myself to have within the low carb-ish, you know, factor. It's not a keto low carb, but it still is fairly low carb in the scope of things. So I got Darryl to, while he was in town, he grabbed me some cucumber, and I've got some carrots left. I'm going to spiralize all them up. I'm not going to have rice noodles, but I will cook them up for the kids, and we got some lettuce as well. And I just boiled a couple of kilos of prawns, so they're in the fridge chilling at the moment. I'll peel them shortly, and so we're going to have prawn and veggie rice paper rolls with probably a satay dip. So let's see how I go spiralizing these veggies first of all. Okay, so you have to have the Thermomix cutter to use the spiralizer, and you'll have seen me use the cutter before. It's what I grate things in bulk into the Thermomix. So instead of the blade though, this spiralizer piece goes on. So it has two different blades that can go in, a number 2 and a number 1. The number 1 does things like, you know, like the spiral potatoes on a stick, like the flat spirals, and this does more of like a noodle spiral. So the noodle spiral is what we're after today. I will try these with potato at some point, but not right now. So we've got the number 2 in there. Now, to swap them out, there we go, it just slides out, and then I should be able to, so I haven't even used this before, so we're learning together. Somehow I can open this up. Where's the instructions? So yeah, it looked to be okay. I was trying to pull it out, you push it in and the pieces come apart, so that's good for cleaning purposes too. So this is the little piece that goes on the piece that goes inside the Thermomix that spins it. So that sits there, and then you put your blade in on there. It's got a number on it to tell you which direction it needs to go, and it clips back in. So the little tabs on the side, I was trying to open them by pulling them outwards, but you actually just push them in, which is a whole lot easier on the hand. So these little tabs you just push in, lift open. So we've got number 2 in there, and then we shall slide this back in. We're going to put the shaft in the Thermomix, the catching bowl, and then this should sit directly on top like that, and then we've got the lid. Now it comes with a new one of these. The old one doesn't have the old one's flat on the base. This one has a little spike to hold the veggie or whatever, and it suggests the right size for it. So it says you want a maximum of 5 centimeters wide or 2 inches, and 10 centimeters or 4 inches long is a good sort of a size to work with. So I'm going to get a board and a knife. All right, so I've got a couple of carrots here. I'm just going to top and tail them. I don't know, like judging width and stuff is not really my forte, but it fits in this little, like it fits in the little holder there. So I assume that should be fine. I tried to pick the straightest ones I could get, and I got a couple that are a bit smaller too. So all we're going to do is we're going to give it a go. So you want to put it on speed 4 to do this one. So let's see. So we've ended up with very fine spirals, so that was fairly straightforward. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to do up a bunch of carrots and a bunch of the cucumber, and I'm going to stick them in a bowl, and that's what we're going to make the rice paper rolls from. So let's keep going. Now it does leave a fairly large little knob on the end, so what I found was that I didn't take the end off that one. The flatter it is, the better it's going to sit though, in the little, and these are a little bit smaller than optimal. But it's fairly easy, it doesn't need too much pressure. But it does leave a fairly significant sort of a chunk on the ends. And we've got spirals, so it's pretty neat. We need to grab some more carrots, and we're going to try the cucumber as well, but I want to get a bowl. And we don't have to worry about the ends of the carrots because Kavik's just come along and eat them all. So some of these carrots are a bit shorter than, a bit narrower than ideal, and we've got a lot of just pieces but not as many actual spirals, and I think that was the narrower carrot. So we definitely need to pick sort of that right width of a carrot to get the optimal results, I think. But let's see what the cucumber does. Now I'm probably going to cut this in half because it says to do 10 centimeters at a time. You could probably almost split this in 3, but we'll go with 2, and let's see if this, see, this looks a little wide, which I did see that they just took a little bit off the side and then made it within the right width. So still looks, can you stop stealing my food? So that's the only real thing about it, is that we're having to cut bits off to make it fit. So and of course I have the garbage disposal here eating all the scraps. So it actually looks like there's a bit stuck in there too, so I'll have to have a look at that. But the cucumber, so that's pretty cool. So we're just going to do some more carrot, I think, and then we will look at what else we're going to do with it. I've got some rice vermicelli, so I'm just going to put these in a bowl with some boiling water, and I'll probably use some kitchen scissors if I can find them to chop them up into a bit smaller pieces once it's done. Now I regularly make some and then it's like I think, well, that'll be plenty, and then it's not enough. But then I don't want to overdo it either. So how much weight is this? 500 grams. I might just do the whole lot. The cold ones can always be mixed with a little bit of sesame oil and go in the fridge for something for tomorrow. So though I might need a bigger bowl than this one. Use the KitchenAid bowl. I don't have any plans to use it tonight, so not that it's that much bigger, is it? But it should be fine. And I've just got a kettle boiling. I'll cover them with boiling water. All right, so I've peeled the prawns. So we got those. I've drained the rice noodles and put a little bit of sesame oil on them. And now I'm just going to make up the dipping sauce before I get started on the thing. So I'm going to go with a fairly simple dipping sauce now. I'm using Skippy peanut butter, which is not
ideal.
Well, it's not particularly low carb. I don't know if my mic's on. It's not. So that's better. Okay, so we're using Skippy peanut butter, which is not ideal because it's not particularly low carb, but we're going with it because it's what I've got and it's tasty. And I really like crunchy peanut butter in these dipping sauces. I really like that texture to it. So we're going to put a cup of peanut butter in here. Get the cat away from the food, please.
No, kitty.
So we're going to do a cup of peanut butter. And then now we're going to do a tin of coconut cream. Now, ideally you would heat this in different stages and it would stop it from splitting. But I am being lazy. You'd also normally fry off your curry paste. Again, I'm doing things a little. So I'm going to do a heaped dessert spoon of red curry paste. We've got the tin of coconut cream in there. I'm going to add a bit of sesame oil and some soy sauce and a tiny bit of sweetener. So I've got the naturally sweet erythritol blend here, and all I'm going to do is add like just a couple of teaspoons, just over a teaspoon. And I'm just going to put this on heat, slowly heat it up and whisk it, and it should come together mostly. It might split a little bit because I'm, you know, it's getting late, but this will work. So let me heat this up. All right, so I got some mint from the garden as well. I've cut up some lettuce as well, and we've got all the different bits and pieces. So I've got my rice paper rounds. I got a little bit of lukewarm water that I'm going to dip them in. Generally, I make one for each of the kids. Could you grab me a teaspoon, please, bud?
Yeah.
Generally, I make one for each of the kids, and then they can make their own. But we'll see how we go.
Yeah, you should make me 4. 4 for me. 2 for me. Yeah, that's how many you should make for everyone. 4, 4, and 2.
Now you want it wet enough to work with, but not so wet that it ends up sticking to every single surface. And I always find that a little bit hard to judge in the first few. So we're going to put the smooth side down. All right, so I've got some lettuce. Now, not traditional, but I use a bit of the homemade mayo in here. Then some of the bit of the rice noodles. We've got some carrot and some cucumber in there. We'll shred a piece of mint up in there and sprinkle it with some prawns pieces, that, and then we're just going to tuck and then tuck the sides in, tuck everything in, sides in on itself. And the first few, like pancakes and everything else, are never as nice to look at. There we go. One of the prawn and salad rice paper rolls. Now I did end up adding an extra dessert spoon of red curry paste to the satay sauce. So it's pretty good, but that means that the kids can have these and dip them into them. So I'm just going to make a half a dozen for them to start with, and then I'll move on. All right, so obviously it's next morning. So I served up all the dinner, but there was just kids, like everyone was hovering. Everyone wanted to eat, everyone wanted to make their next ones, and it was all too hard. So they turned out fantastically. The kids ate all of the spiralized salad, so that's great. That means that the part of the novelty of the salad was the spiralizing, but also my kids are pretty big on salads too. We just don't get enough of them because that's the hard part about shopping irregularly, is because the thing salad goods, we get plenty of carrots, and we get lots of cucumbers from the garden when the garden's doing well, but it's too hot at the moment. The cucumbers have all died off, so we'll start some more of them again soon because we'll get another batch through before winter hits and things like that. But yeah, we don't do a lot of salads because we just don't have the opportunity to have the salad foods as much. And when we first do the shopping, we gorge on things like that, and then we just get the occasional ones when Darryl goes into town, but it's very, very expensive to buy salad stuff in town. So yeah, but the kids ate all of the salad. We've got some extra rice noodles that are in the fridge that they can do something with for lunch today. And the satay sauce turned out perfectly, which it got completely eaten to. I noticed that the pan hasn't been cleaned. It's sitting here on the stove still. The only thing was that I did add more of that red curry paste into the sauce, and part of that's because I used this Valcom brand, which is not as hot as the Mazery brand, which is the one that I actually normally use for this sauce. So it was a little bit milder, so I put an extra spoon of that. It does get warmer too. If I had have like fried it off in some oil and then mixed it through the other things, then that potentially would have brought the flavor out a little bit more too. But as I said, I was throwing it all together in a hurry. So everyone enjoyed it. The Spiralizer is great. I don't know how often I'll use it. It's just a little bit fiddly, and fiddly's not really my thing. But if the kids really enjoy doing it like that, they're more than welcome to use it. So I'll show them how to do it, maybe set it up for them when they want to use it, and if they want to spiralize a salad or some carrots or something, then they're more than welcome to. I will give it a go with dinner over the next couple of days, and I'll film it. I'm going to make the zoodles. There's on the Cookie Dough, which is the recipe platform for the Thermomix, there is a carbonara using the zucchini spiralized, and then I kept some prawns aside, so I'm going to do that, so I will share that. And we will try doing some potatoes at some point with the flatter part of it, but also there's on Cookie Dough, there's a recipe using it with the finer side and then frying them off, which sounds really nice too. So we might give those a go, and I'll share them as I do them. But for the moment, pretty cool. It's always nice to have a few gadgets. I really like kitchen gadgets, so that if there is something that I want to do, I have the opportunity to do it, because if I don't have it, I can't do it. So it's nice to have them. I do need more storage though, which is all part and parcel of getting this kitchen sorted. So, you know, at the moment things go back in boxes and get shoved in cupboards, but there's just very limited enclosed storage in our kitchen space at the moment, but we will get there. So thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you on the next video.